Welcome to another episode of the Standard Baseball Show. I'm your host, Standard Baseball. Glad to have you with me today. Today, we're going to be previewing the upcoming series between the San Diego Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, the Arizona Diamondbacks are coming off a series against the San Francisco Giants that's been kind of weird, honestly. It's been a back and forth pull in this division, and the Arizona Diamondbacks have had a really interesting time with the San Francisco Giants. If we look back over the recent series that they just played, they lost yesterday, Wednesday. They won on Tuesday. And if we go back to Monday, I don't have this up on my screen. I actually have this on my phone. They won on Monday. So, okay, it was a three-game set, which they won two out of three, losing yesterday. Now, their starting pitching has been something of a question mark throughout the season, as we saw when the Padres played Arizona in Arizona, and as we also saw when they were playing San Francisco this past week. Jordan Montgomery has really not been what they wanted him to be. He's kind of struggled. Same goes for Blake Snell for the Giants. I mean, I guess you could really say that spring training is actually kind of important for pitchers. So, yeah. Now, Arizona's been kind of a thorn in the Padres side over the last couple of seasons, and this year has been no exception. They still fight hard. They're still kind of a chippy team. Some of their guys are still finding their form, and a lot of their guys have really good numbers just against the Padres in their careers. So, last time the Padres and Diamondbacks played, the Padres took the series, but they lost the series finale by a long shot. It was not close. It was a blowout. We have the Padres, on the other hand, who are coming off a sweep against the Angels and not the kind that we all wanted. They're on a four-game skid right now, and their bats are ice cold. They're not hitting. They were hitting really well on the road, and then they just haven't been able to capitalize on opportunities. They've made mistakes on the base paths, mistakes in the field, misreads. They're not playing their best baseball right now, clearly. I mean, they had an elite road record, and they just lost four in a row. And they're coming back to Petco, which their record in night games at Petco is like 3-15 or something not good like that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. This is the hardest series of the year for me to gauge, honestly. Just because the Padres are not playing well and they're coming to Petco where they don't play well. And then Arizona has kind of been, I don't want to say mid, but they've kind of been mid this year. And I guess the Padres getting swept I guess that's my consequence for calling Giants Diamondbacks a mid-off during the week. That's not great. And my bad. But if I'm being completely honest, this series is really hard to predict just because of how badly the Padres have been playing and how inconsistent both teams have been throughout the season. So I could say one thing today and then tomorrow it's absolutely wrong. Now, it is a four-game set, and for the Padres, you are going to have a pretty good chunk of your starting rotation going. You have Randy Vasquez going tonight. You have Michael King going tomorrow. Then you get, let me check who goes on Friday. 'Cause I haven't really. Oh, to tomorrow's Friday. You get Randy Vasquez tonight, Michael King on Friday. You get Matt Waldron on Saturday, and then Adam Major makes his second start in the big leagues on Sunday. For Arizona, you have Slates Coney going tonight, Brandon Pfaadt going on Friday, Ryan Nelson going on Saturday, and Blake Walston, a lefty, going on Sunday. Now, the first three are righties, and the Padres have seen all three of them. And they've hit the ball pretty well against all three of them. So I would hope that, they finally start hitting at Petco this week. If you're going to start hitting at Petco, now is the time. You have Arizona for four, and you have Oakland for three. Do something, poke, poke, do something. These are all three pitchers that the Padres have hit pretty well, like this season and last. So I have hope for the Padres offense. Like Fernando Tatis is just scalding hot. He has a hit in every single game this month. He's on an 11-game hitting streak and he went 4 for 4 yesterday. Unfortunately, he did not score because they did not capitalize on their opportunities. If you want to know more about yesterday and their inability to capitalize, click the link in the description. I recently recapped the game for the East Village Times. Great website about San Diego sports. Go ahead and check that out while you have the time, while you're watching this, click the link, still listen to this. And before you ask, no, that was not a shameless plug. Anyways, going back to the Padres and Diamondbacks, the Padres, they need to get it going. They need their offense to start clicking. They need to start figuring things out at home. Because if you want to make the playoffs, you have to at least be 500 at home. You can't be 10 games under 500 or whatever the hell the Padres' home record is at the moment. I don't know. It's really hard to gauge the Padres when they play home games. So, yeah. Now, Arizona has been hitting pretty well over the last 7 games or so. Just looking through the numbers and everything. Some guys to look out for. I mean, Corbin Carroll has hit really well against the Padres in his career. He's kind of breaking out of a slump in his last game against San Diego. Christian Walker has about 15 home runs against the Padres in his career. So he's a guy who, if I'm not saying you should bet on this, but like if you wanted to, like he's a guy to look out for. I mean, Ketel Marte usually hits the Padres pretty well, if you ask me. Like, they're gonna face Randy Vasquez in the first game, who I don't think any of them have faced in their careers. Like, the people who have faced Randy Vasquez, who are currently on the Arizona Diamondbacks, are only Gabriel Moreno, Christian Walker, Corbin Carroll, and Jake McCarthy, and that's probably because of games against the Yankees last season, as opposed to him being a Padre. And the Padres, well, they're facing Slade Cecconi tonight, who they've only faced once, but they've done pretty well against him. I mean, most of them are 1 for 2. I mean, Tyler Wade is 1 for 2. Tatis is 1 for 2 with a home run, 3 RBIs. Actually, he's 2 for 4 with uh, with 3 RBIs and a homer. Profar has no hits against Slade Cecconi. Jackson Merrill is hitting 500 against him, and Cronenworth is hitting 500 against him with a home run. So, if you were really going to look at, I mean, it's a very tiny sample size. There's not really anything to go off of here for either one. So, if I'm the Padres, I'm thinking, we hit this guy pretty well the last time we saw him, so we can do it. We got to do it in front of the home fans as well. If I had to give my series predictions, honestly, I'm gonna say the Padres win this series 3 games to 1. I think they either lose tonight or they lose on Saturday because Matt Waldron struggled against Arizona in his last outing, so I don't know if he'll do particularly well. The reason I'm saying they're not losing on Sunday is because it's a Petco day game, and they've been a lot better in day games than they've been in night games at Petco Park this season. So hopefully that trend continues while the trend of being atrocious during night games ends. Like if it's gonna end, it's gotta end now. Like you can't break this trend in September. Like that at that point you're way too late. For the Padres, who do I see being a top performer this series? Honestly, I think Fernando Tatis keeps it going. I think we see him hit at least one home run this series because he's kind of been due. I think Jurickson Profar finds his stroke again after he's gotten kind of unlucky in the last couple of games. I mean, yesterday he had a scalding drive into center field, but I was just right to the wall, like wrong part of Angel Stadium. So I think he gets a couple of hits. I think Jackson Merrill gets going again. I know he had a hit yesterday. I know he's had some hits recently, but I mean, the barrels have been there. It's just the results have not. Like, it hasn't quite yielded the results he's wanted. So I think he has at least one multi-hit game in him this weekend. So Tatis, Provar, Jackson Merrill, I would hope. Luis Campusano broke out of like an 0 for 27 yesterday, so that's pretty good. Hopefully the catching continues to be solid. I just hope Campusano can do better defensively than he did this past 3 games in Anaheim. The I think that's all I've got for this. I have the Padres winning the series 3-1. I have those guys being hot. And on the starting pitching side, I think Adam Mazur has a solid second start. The only thing is he struggled with lefties when he was facing the Angels. Arizona has a lot more lefties than the Angels. They're not afraid to turn to the lefties. So if Adam Major can find a consistent way to get lefties out, I think that's the really big key for his start on Sunday. I have faith in Michael King. I mean, he's been pitching really well as of late. I have faith in Matt Waldron, honestly. I mean, he's been throwing the knuckleball harder. He's been throwing it a lot more recently. So I think if he continues this trend, I think he's going to be fine. I think he'll have a good outing against Arizona. And then Randy Vasquez, I guess we'll just have to I guess we'll just have to wait and see because the thing is I'm really high on Randy Vasquez. I don't know if I've really expressed that in writing or in audio, but I'm pretty high on Randy Vasquez. I just want to see the results, you know? I've tweeted this out, give him this kind of outing, Randy, and you'll see his MLB The Show card. That was his Topps Net Diamond card. And I really hope that, he finds his footing at the major league level. Why did I say level? At the major league level for the San Diego Padres, because having your depth guys pitch well is going to be crucial for the San Diego Padres going forward. But Yeah, I hope the Padres win the series. Let's go Padres, and see you all in the next episode of Standard Baseball Show. Again, thank you for joining me. These are new, and I'm trying to put these out, but thank you for joining me on this episode of Standard Baseball Show. See you all in the next one. I'm gonna go get this edited, and with that being said, thank you all for watching. This is Standard Baseball signing off.